Now about Michael Allen. He is Managing Director of Beacon Global Strategies. He previously served at the National Security Council as a special assistant to President George W. Bush. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for being with me, Michael. Susan Del Percio standing by, and so is Catherine Rampell. Going to get to them in just a moment. But let me start with you, Michael. But before we get to Afghanistan, on North Korea, again, you specialized in counter-proliferation during your time at the NSC. If you were advising President Trump on how to move forward on North Korea, what would you suggest to the president?
I would suggest that we embark on what we're calling coercive diplomacy. When we, the United States, needed to rally the world around Iran and combating its malign influence and, frankly, its nuclear program, we were able to rally the Europeans and the Asians and others to impose secondary-style sanctions, more aggressive sanctions on companies that did business in Iran. We need to have the same type of attitude and strategy as it pertains to North Korea. It's a myth that we've already over-sanctioned North Korea and that we have no influence over them. We've got to do it harder against them and also against Chinese front companies who give cover to North Korean proliferators.
Military options, are they non-existent?
They're not good. There may be something we can do on cyber. I mean, I do think that we need to hold out there the use of force in order to get some more leverage over the Chinese, because what the Chinese don't want is upsetting the status quo. I don't think regime change is by any means on the table, but I think we have to hold out the prospect that, listen, if you are going to hold us at risk, us the United States, over time, as you declare a nuclear weapons capability and ability to be mounted on a ICBM, I think we've got to hold it out there as something like, listen, we hold this very seriously. You know what? Secretary Mattis called this a clear and present danger not long ago when he was out in Asia. So I think they take it seriously, and I think together we've got to rally the world to do something to China and Iran like we did vis-a-vis Iran.
You mentioned Secretary Mattis. He told senators last month that his plan for Afghanistan would be unveiled sometime in mid-July. Won't talk about any timelines for ending the war. Is it safe to assume that we are going to see quite the troop surge there in Afghanistan, Michael?
I do think that we will see 2,000 to 3,000 more troops. You know, Craig, Afghanistan used to be called the good war when it was compared to Iraq. Now I'm afraid it's the forgotten war when you compare it to all of our activities against ISIS. That's no way to run this. It can't be a ship without a strong captain at the top saying, this is the path to victory, this is what we're trying to do. And so I think, I'm looking forward to the announcement, because we need to no longer be sort of adrift there. We've got to have some clear objectives and move out.
That picture of Senator Elizabeth Warren there with Senator Graham and Senator McCain in Kabul, Catherine, Susan, striking, I think, to a lot of folks. How much of what we saw there, and just that picture, and maybe even this trip in general, is about the Massachusetts senator trying to solidify her place once again, Democratic frontrunner, trying to burnish those foreign policy bona fides?
Well, it can certainly be looked upon as that. I actually think she was going there more in a position of as a reason to criticize President Trump. I think that was mostly her agenda. Whether it was towards 2020, I don't know. But there's a lot of question what she may or may not be doing there. But what's also very interesting is the two senators she was on stage there with Senator McCain and Senator Graham, two strong Republicans who are known to disagree with President Trump. And they do bring out a very important point when it comes to the Trump policy. Donald Trump told the American public when he was running for office, no, I won't tell you what my strategy is, because why should I show my hand? But the problem now is that the American public and senators and our military don't necessarily have faith that there is a strategy. And that's why it's so critical that Secretary Mattis get this plan out. Even if he doesn't tip his hand ahead of time, people, especially those fighting for us, need to feel that they are going towards a plan, that there is a strategy to end this war.
And beyond the fact that we don't have a strategy, as we were talking about during the break, there are just no people to execute even the half-baked strategy that we have, in that there are huge numbers of vacancies throughout the State Department. You know, we have a lot of people advising Trump on national security with strong military backgrounds, but not with diplomatic backgrounds. We don't have an ambassador for Kabul. We don't have an ambassador for South Korea. We have ambassadors for the Bahamas and other countries that we don't have as much strategic tension with, but we just don't have the bodies there. We don't even have an assistant secretary for counterproliferation. So the problem is not only that there isn't sort of a vision, but there aren't people to help develop the vision at this point.
These openings, these job openings, and there's been a great deal of reporting on the sheer number of vacancies. Is this part of a larger plot to simply start government? Is this part of the Trump administration's plan to tear down the administrative state?
We heard Steve Bannon several months ago make those type of claims, but what's also troubling is that you look at Secretary Tillerson, who is looking to fill these positions that are being sidelined by the White House because they weren't, you know, people that he's looking to put in may have disagreed with Donald Trump as a candidate, but now are willing to serve under President Trump, and these are people with really strong credentials. So there is that as well. There's some kind of loyalty test that's still being put in at the sacrifice of the State Department running efficiently.
Michael, while I have you here, I do want to turn to Mosul really quickly. Iraqi forces, as you know, moving closer to driving ISIS out of that city. How pivotal would a victory there be?
It'd be very important, one, to deprive ISIS of the ability to sort of fleece the citizens and for financial gain. And also, it's going to take away some of their prestige not to have the caliphate, a physical manifestation of the caliphate. So this is a good news story and could be pivotal in depriving them of land over there.
All right, we'll leave it there. Good to have you, Michael Allen. Thank you.